Guys, I got so many Christmas gifts I need to make. So I'm going to make some towel toppers today, and I want y'all to come along with me. I get my towels from Walmart. These are Pioneer Woman. These are the ones I'm going to use. I think I'm going to do the red. I'm thinking the ladybugs and the canaries, cardinals or whatever they are for that. And I'm thinking these bees, but that would be really, really cute. So that's what I'm going to do. What you're going to need is a towel, obviously. So, but I'm only going to use half of this towel. So I'm going to get 2 gifts out of 1. All right, so if I take my towels, and these are Pioneer Woman. I showed you, they come from Walmart. I think I give like, oh, I don't want to say and be wrong, but I think it was like $9 for all 4 of them. That's not bad. So I folded it in half with the short sides together, so hamburger style, and I'm going to cut it in half this way. Okay, so I have 2 pieces now. So you need your towel to be 6 inches. So I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to find the middle, just right here. These are so easy to make, guys. Okay, and then I'm going to go 3 inches. 1, 2, 3 on both sides. So 1 goes there. 1, 2, 3 on this side. And 1 goes there. Okay. So basically, I'm going to do is put these together, and then I'm going to bring the bottom. So I've got them 2 matched, and I'm going to bring the bottom one up to match it. I'm going to open it up, bring it up to match it. And that's how we're going to do our towels, and it should be real close to 3 inches. I'm all thumbs today. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this one over to here. And pin it or clip it or whatever you want to do. Oh man. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to bring this one over as well. So that's going to give us a little pleat there. Now, like I said, we need this to be 6 inches. So we're going to have to put another. So this is the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half off to the sides. Let's see, do I put another one here? It needs to be to here. And we can put another one there. That looks good. So either way, any way you want to do this, you just need 6 inches across here. And if this is the middle, 1, 2, 3, I need this to come up to here. And I'm going to lay that down to there. Okay, so now I have 6 inches across the top of my towel. I'm just going to pin everything a little better because it's, ow, that one's still sharp. Okay. There we go. So I'm gonna check again. We got 6 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. So I'm gonna set that aside for the time being. And I'm gonna grab a fat quarter. I got this at Walmart as well. Cute little ladybugs. Noah said I'm doing Christmas gifts, but I really don't like to give Christmas gifts that are Christmas themed, because then they can only put them out at Christmas time. So I like to give year-round gifts. Alright, so I'm going to open this fat quarter up. I'm going to step right here and give it a nice press just a second. Still here, guys, I'm just over here pressing my piece of fabric. There we go. So what we need out of this is we need a, alright, stay there. We need a 7 by 7 piece, and we need a 7 by 15 piece. 7.5 by 15, and a 7.5 by 7.5 inch piece. So I'm going to fold this in half lengthwise, just because that's how I cut fabric. I'm going to line my fold up on one of my lines on my mat, and I'm going to trim my selvage off. Now I could probably open all these up and cut them all at the same time, which I probably will after I show you how to do it. And I'm going to come over 7.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. And I'm going to cut it again. And then we need this to be 15. And it's 21.5, so we'll cut that down to 15. What that string is for that keeps blowing over here. Okay, so I'm going to lay this here. I'm going to cut 15. So my ruler here is 15, so I'm going to cut 21.5. Now I'm going to come from this side. Let me line that up. Cut 15, so I'm going to go 13 on my board. There we go. And that's 7.5 by 15. Yep, that's exactly what that is. Okay. So this piece is not big enough for us to get a 7.5 inch by 7.5 inch square, so we need to cut another 7.5 inch piece. Line everything back up. I'm cutting these in bigger pieces because I will use these other pieces. I have more of these towels to make. 4, 5, 6, 7.5. Okay. And then I'm going to cut this 7.5 inches square. You could do 8 inches if you want, but I think 7.5 is plenty big enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. Okay. So there's them. So I have my 7.5 square piece, and I have my 7.5 by 15 inch piece. And my towel. And that's all we need to make a towel. So I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to press it. I'm just faux pressing it with my finger right now. I'm going to open it up, fold it into that line, press it in. Take this piece, fold it in, and then fold it in half again. Okay, now I'm going to press that real quick. Okay, so then when we go to the machine, we're going to sew down both long edges of this. Okay, so we got that one prepped. We're going to take this piece, and if you're directional, you want to put this down at the bottom. Does that make sense? So this is the top if it's directional fabric. I try to steer clear of directional fabric, but especially when I'm doing these towel toppers. I'm just going to make a little mark in my center with my fingernail. Open this up and line my center of my towel with that, and I'm going to clip this on. Making sure I'm catching all the layers. Okay, so we're going to go to the sewing machine now, and I'll show you what to do. Alright guys, so I'm going to top stitch down both sides of the long sides of this, and I have it on the stitch length of 4, and I'm going to do 1/8 of an inch. Back stitching at the beginning and the end on both sides. There we go. So there's that piece made. So easy so far, right? Now we're just going to baste here. Now to make sure I'm going to catch all the pieces in my towel, I'm going to do the whole 1/4 of an inch when I do this, and then when I sew it, I'm going to sew it at 3/8 or 1/2 inch, whichever, you know, grabs me when I decide to do it. So I'm going to make sure I'm catching all of the layers of the towel, all the layers of the fabric. Okay, so I'm going to do the whole 1/4 of an inch. Take your time here, don't let the towel get stuck in your feet. Okay, so I back stitch at the beginning and the end. And our towel is now basted onto our piece of fabric. Okay. So now we're going to take this piece and we're going to fold it in half. Find the center. I'm just going to make a little mark with my fingernail on both sides. So where that mark is, we're going to go a little bit further down, and I'm going to go, let's see, I'm going to go 1 inch down because that's what mine is right now. Okay, I'm going to go 1 inch down, and I'm going to baste this on. If you would like to have a little bit of like extra here, I would do an 8 by 8, but I find that's not necessary. But you know, whatever, I have a little bit of extra anyway, so then I'm just going to baste this on both sides. You want to make sure it's straight. You don't want to crook a towel topper. Okay, easy peasy so far, right? So now we're going to take this with our towel inside of it, and we're just going to fold this up like this and catch the end pieces. So I have the end of my fabric going to sew to this side of my towel. I'm going to line everything up. Okay, so because I want to make sure I catch all of my pieces here, I think I'm going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance on just this piece. So I'm going to sew straight across here. I'm on a 2.5 stitch length, and I'm going to back stitch at the beginning and the end. Alright, so we have something that kind of looks a little funky, don't we? But if you take this over here and push this in, push your towel in is what I'm saying, push all your pieces of your towel in so you're not going to catch it, and clip this side all the way down and sew it. I'm going to sew it at 1/4 inch, back stitching at the beginning and the end. Okay. So we got 2 sides of it sewed. We're going to sew the next side. We're going to push this in, push the towel in, just shove it in there, and clip this side all the way down. Now this side we're going to do the same thing, except for we're going to leave an opening so that we can turn our towel out. Okay, so, oh, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. I've just clipped along here, and I'm going to leave an opening about 1 inch. You don't need a whole lot of room to turn this towel inside out, right side out, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I'm going to start here, and I'm going to sew back stitching at the beginning and the end here. I'm going to skip over and do the same thing to the end. 1/4 inch, back stitching at the beginning and the end. You don't want to leave your hole where your little band is at. It just kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to line things up, so I skip over that part. There we go. So I got my little hole here, my little turning hole. I left a tiny one, just big enough for my finger to get in there. But I'm gonna clip my corners just so that when I turn them I can get some nice neat corners. There we go. Now let's see if I can get my towel out of this little tiny hole. May have to open my seam up, but maybe not. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing, sorry. I'm just pulling it through. Yeah, I'm going to pop a couple of these stitches just to make it a little bit easier for me to turn this through. Right. Where'd my turner go? Here, my grandson got a hold of it. Please wait. It was right in front of me. I didn't see it. Okay, so we're going to poke out our corners. Poke them out good. If you would like a piece of batting in this, go for it. You can do this however you want to. I don't find batting as necessary. Okay, so if you want to, take this to the sewing machine and iron it. I'm just going to fold it in right now for the sake of this video. And get this corner a little better. There we go. Okay. So, if you would like to embellish this with anything, like put a piece of ruffle here, if you'd like ruffle here, ruffle at the bottom, whatever, you can do it now. And then that'll also be part of your top stitching. As you sew it on, that'll be your top stitching. But I'm going to top stitch this. I'm going to do it on a 4. And I'm 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Back stitching at the beginning and the end. When it comes to your band at the back, make sure it's laying flat when you sew it. All right, you. Okay, and I'm actually going to sew across the piece of tile just to reinforce where it is sewn together here. There we go. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you how to imagine this is your oven handle. So take your upside down, your bottom piece of your towel, take it around, tuck it into your thing, under your band. Look how cute that is. Turned out so cute. So you could even embroider something really cute and sweet on there for Christmas or for any day, all day. And that's it. That's our towel topper. Hope you enjoyed. Love you. Bye.